All right. Hello, hello. We are so excited to come on here and just, meet again and talk about the Ultimate Portion Fix. So we've officially started the 30-day challenge. I want to remind you guys, though, that it's okay if you're still going through the videos, if you haven't dove into actually using the containers yet or anything like that, if you're still learning. But if you want to start implementing them slowly, that is totally okay. Just take them, one meal, maybe apply them to whatever you're eating and just kind of familiarize yourself with them is super important. One challenger did message me and ask me a couple questions, and so I thought I'd go over it with you guys. And she did ask about Shakeology, and that does count as a red. So keep that in mind. The performance line doesn't count as anything as long as you're using it for what it's for. So if you're using Energize for your pre-workout, if you're using the Recover right after your workout, and the Hydrate during, and the Recharge at night, I just know those are the four that maybe some of us use. It doesn't count as any of your containers. So know that. Almond milk. She asked about a half a cup of almond milk. Well, 8 ounces of almond milk is equivalent to 1 teaspoon. And so then a half a cup would be a half a teaspoon. So almond milk does count as one of your teaspoons. So know that. And then she was also wondering about an egg muffin recipe. So I think this is where you make little eggs in the cupcake pans or muffin pans. If anybody has one at all, she tried the one out of the Fixate one. She has a texture thing she said she didn't like, but she tried the one out of the Fixate one and didn't really like it, or something about the texture of it. And I'm a texture person too, so I haven't never made them. So if anybody has a recipe at all for if they make those egg muffin things, drop it into our challenge group, because I think everybody could benefit from having them, but I think it would be super helpful as well. The next thing I wanted to go over with you guys is if you are starting the 30-day challenge with us, the journal is where you can start for documenting everything for your daily logbook. And I just wanted to go over it with you quickly here. And so in each one, you're going to write down your goals, okay? Clearly, I haven't yet, but I did start using this today. So you're going to write down your Ultimate Portion Fix goals. So go through this journal and use it. Take your measurements, you guys, right here. That is super important. And you can also put them in the app directly along with progress photos, because you guys, the scale, you cannot go by just the scale. You need to take measurements and photos because that tells a lot of things, and also your energy. So you'll learn that inside this logbook, it'll go over all those things each day as you will wake up and you will record how did you sleep. You will rate those things, your today's goals and intentions. So each day, I actually rated myself a 4 on sleep because DM did not wake up at all during the night. So that's a 4, that's good. I have an egg baked muffin recipe. Thanks, Cassie. Awesome. Just post that in the Ultimate Portion Fix group. And then you are also going to rate your mood and your energy. And she says on here, rate when you wake up. So right when you wake up, maybe have this in your bathroom, on your nightstand, something, so that right away you can write these things down, because you will notice when you start implementing these changes, let's say you're cutting out soda, let's say you're cutting out different other things that you know are not that good for you, you will start to note changes in your sleep, your mood, and energy. And we would love to be able to see from what you are now and then day 30 as well. Healthy habits. So then she has in here your breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, and dinner, and you're going to check off. So I kind of did it like this. You can see I just did check marks of my containers throughout the day. If this is a good tracking system, I like having this little workbook, but sometimes I forget, so then I just use the app. But these are great. This is a great tool to have as well if you are a paper and pen type of person. Kind of record your water in a day. If you have a container you use, just know how many ounces are in there. Shoot for half of your body weight in ounces of water, and then just record that, what you drink in a day. You might notice, because I do, when I don't drink enough water in a day, I'm like craving other food. And so water is super, super important. Sorry. Shakeology then. It does have a spot for Shakeology. And then the other side, it talks about exercise and for how long. How did you improve over the previous day's workout? Rate your attitude about your body, your nutrition, and your energy. You guys, it's also a mindset thing. And so definitely note these things on what you are feeling about yourself. and then an evening reflection. And so this reminds me a lot of my gratitude journal that I have, because it talks about the morning, right when you wake up, and then in the evening as well, different things like that. So this journal is super important. So if you're not starting the official 30-day challenge today, you can wait. But if you are, definitely use this workbook that we got with our package. And if you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. Erin.
My turn. Can you hear me? Okay, so do you want me to just jump into highs and lows? Is that what we should do now? So just to kind of piggyback on Bridget talking about the logbook too, guys, like it really is eye-opening just from a learning standpoint once you start to make nutritional change. So don't discount using that. Even if you're using the 21 Day Fix app or the Nutrition Plus app, which you can download both of those on your phone, it's really good to see what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and how those habits play into how you feel. Like I will tell you, I can definitely feel the day after I eat poorly, I feel it. Like my energy is low, my mindset stinks, like I feel it. And it's been eye-opening for me to just kind of learn those things along the way. So use the logbook for sure. Oh my gosh, Deanna, I didn't even notice. That's so funny. Oh, I love it. I gotta keep it real. I'm sure I'll have one running through here in a minute. We're in a hotel room right now, so it should be interesting. But anyways, yeah, like logbook, guys, super important. Either on the apps or on the hard copy logbook. You can go into the program materials in Beachbody On Demand and also print off things if you want to log. But it is so eye-opening once you try to really pinpoint how you're eating and how you can continue to make slow, sustainable change just so you're feeling your best from the inside out. So we wanted to quickly go through and talk like highs and lows and how things are going so far this week. So I'd love for each of us to kind of share like a high point, what's going really well so far with the program, and a low point, like what's maybe not going so well so far. Where do you need to improve? What do you want to continue to focus on? So you guys can either chat, like raise your hand and talk, or you can put it in the chat. But I'd love to hear from everybody that's on this call. If you're able to talk, I know some of you guys aren't sharing your video, so I don't know if you're in a position right now where you're not able to potentially talk or share, but I'd love to hear highs and lows. So I'll get started and I'll kind of see if some of you guys wouldn't mind sharing. That would be super helpful, because I think this is a really great way for us to learn, what are people doing well at and where do people maybe need more support? So for me, what am I doing well at so far? So right now we're on vacation this week, so things are obviously not in the comfort of our own home. But what's going well for me right now is just my mindfulness around making sure that I'm getting my vegetables in and making sure that I'm drinking enough water. Like those are huge for me when I'm on vacation. And it was something that I never even had any kind of mindfulness related to in the past. Like I would literally go on vacation and I didn't even know what I was doing. I would pay zero attention to how I was actually fueling my body. So really paying attention to vegetables and water on vacation has been huge for me, making sure that I'm doing my workouts. I'm using all of my supplements as normal. Like those things I've implemented into my day-to-day habits to the point where they really, truly make me feel my best, even when we're not at home. So that's a high for me right now, doing the best I can with those. Low, oh my gosh. I am having a really hard time right now. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm having a really hard time right now reeling in carbs and sugar. Like for whatever reason, I've been leaning heavy on them as the winter drags on, as it's still cold, as I'm ready for the season change. And I'm still struggling with really trying to manage that in my day-to-day. Like some days I do really well, and some days like I just go off the rails. And so for me, like I've really had to kind of figure out, okay, where do I need to continue to just improve on looking at the containers more, implementing them a little bit more strictly in my day-to-day. Obviously, being on vacation, it's harder for me to do that, but I am making the choice to be as mindful as I can and control the controllable, which sometimes that's just what you need to do in order to continue forward every single day. So that's been the pain point for me right now. I'll be super honest about that. And because of that, I have felt it in how I feel every single day, right? Like my energy isn't quite the same. And I'm just sort of dragging. So I know when I get home, I really want to dive hard into my logbook because I don't have it this week. And I want to get back to really focusing on the types of carbohydrates that I'm eating, because right now it's a lot more processed, junky type stuff that is not serving me well. And I'm aware of that. But that's kind of the thing that you have to learn along the way with a program like this and within our community is you just got to learn. You got to learn along the way. Like what you're doing and how you're making choices and how you can just kind of shift back to really focusing in on, the guidelines within a program like this. So that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to call Cassie. Can you talk right now? Are you available to talk? I'd love to hear like highs and lows. What's maybe going well so far with UPF, and what are you kind of working on still?
Oh, good question. I'll start with low because that's probably the easier one for me. My sleep. I'm not good at getting the amount of sleep that I need, and my water. With me not working right now and not being in a normal routine of leaving the house, going to work, I'm not getting my water in like I was. So that has been a real struggle like the last 3 weeks. So that would be my low. Up until this last week, I would say my high would be getting all my vegetables in. But this last week, I've kind of started to slack on that also. So, but
awesome.
I'm aware of it, so I know what I need to be working on.
That's good. Thank you for sharing. I think vegetables is a tough one. I'm not sure. I've yet to meet someone that like always loves vegetables all the time and never has a problem ever.
Right.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I think, we all can just continue to learn. Like I'm really trying to figure out like, how can I try new vegetables and potentially expand my palate a little bit? Because I think part of the problem is I start to get bored. And then when I get bored, I'm like, all right, well, I'm just going to have some sugary junk instead, which is not a good choice. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Deanna, can you talk right now?
I just have to say quick, I do have a challenger in the other group that she has a problem getting all of her fruits and carbs in.
Oh my gosh.
No problem doing veggies. I'm like, you are a unicorn.
Yeah, you are a unicorn. You are a unicorn. Wow. I wish
right, Deanna.
Deanna, can you jump in? Highs and lows?
Hi. Sorry, it's kind of chaotic at my house right now.
Oh, good.
Bath time, bedtime, that sort of the way of life around here is kind of crazy. I guess my highs have been, like she said in the videos, being prepared is the battle. So I guess I've really made it a habit the last couple of weeks to just get my vegetables. I got these really cool containers at Menards. They're just simple, clear containers, like long and skinny. They fit in my fridge. So I've just been bagging up my vegetables and putting them in Ziplocs so they're there. So if I'm hungry or even just bored, or when I have to go run an errand, I'll just grab a bag of carrots or whatever and just eat them on the way. So that's really helped. Just be prepared. I guess I don't know. My week's been going really well. Actually, I kind of started last week and kind of just been pre-cooking everything and having all my stuff in there. My husband is gone, and he is so unorganized. Like, he shoves things in the fridge, and he just drives me crazy. So when he's gone, it's nice to be able to keep everything nice and organized. So I guess I'm preparing for him to come home on Saturday. So I'm like, you get the basement fridge and you don't get to use the upstairs fridge anymore. So I guess that's where I'm kind of struggling with him coming home. He's gonna throw my world off kilter again. So so hopefully he can kind of jump into and try to be on track with things, because I don't know, he eats like 1 million carbs a day, and eats everything he wants, and half the time I'm pretty sure he doesn't even chew. He just, he's used to being in the army and going, has like 2 seconds to eat. So that drives me nuts. So it's really hard, the distractions, like, I don't know. So it's been nice to have a week or two to get kind of focused on my routine. So,
that's awesome. I love that. Being prepared is so huge.
Yes,
it really is
definitely.
so huge. I learn the hard way every time. Like every Sunday I want to be a little bit lazy. Like it is a terrible decision.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It's always a terrible decision. So I love that. That's such a good reminder.
One thing, this whole sweet tooth thing is my downfall too. Have you ever tried to do your recover with Greek yogurt? I
have not tried that actually.
You need to, because that, it's just, she like loved it. It's almost like like a pudding kind of.
Okay.
So I just put a little bit, like your serving of Greek yogurt with a scoop of the Recover. Do that, put it in the freezer while I'm working out, and then when I'm done, instead of, I don't know, you drink your Shakeology and then your Recover kind of gets a little too much sometimes.
Yeah.
So I don't know, try that. It's really, really good.
I love that. Thanks for that tip.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Really, and I put just a little bit of, we put a little almond milk in it too, I think, just to make it a little creamier. It was really good. So.
Yum. I'm gonna try that when I get home. I love that. Okay, Joanna, can you jump in a little bit? Highs and lows.
Okay, so I would say some of the highs that I've been having this week was I'm doing 80-day obsession, and I was not very well. I get up and I work out at 4 a.m. every day. It's my time. And I was not well at eating something before I worked out, just because that was 4 a.m. was not really a time that I wanted to eat something, but learning that my body actually needs it. So I've been I've been making the energy balls from the Fixate recipe book. And just as a start, I know I have spinach in my Shakeology, which I have after I'm done working out. So that's when I get my vegetable in then. But it's just something, and I've noticed a huge difference when doing my workouts is just the energy. I mean, I have energy when I get up at 4, that's how I get up, but just the amount, and I'm able to push more and use heavier weights. Just like this morning, I had booty day from phase 2, and like it's helped me a ton. And another high I would have to say is meal prepping as well. I've started to do that a lot more, even like others have said, like just even bagging up like carrots. Like it's super simple, even though it may take a minute to do on a regular basis, but that minute seems like 5 minutes when you come down to do it. So even just making like bagging up carrots, and like today or on Sunday I made meals. I had like a turkey burger, peas, and quinoa, and I had that up. And just the ease of grabbing that out of the fridge when it comes time to go to work is 10 times easier than, rationing out my portions again, which may only take like a minute or so, but when you're coming down to do it the morning of, it seems like forever. And I would say a low point for me is like today, and sometimes I've been seeing it last week too, was knowing if I'm pretty good at getting water in, as I don't drink much of anything else, but realizing if I'm actually hungry or if I should drink a lot more water. And with like today using heavier weights, I think I actually was hungry, and that's a huge thing for me, is realizing, do I need to add a couple more containers of something, or do I need to drink more water? And I think one thing I've been struggling with a little bit is because I don't want to obviously add in more containers if I don't need to, but then also, I mean, it affects me if I'm hungry and water's just not cutting it, because at work I'm totally distracted, or even like when I come home or want to do something, like obviously I don't want to have a snack half an hour before I'm going to eat dinner. So again, it's just me realizing, should I add in a couple more containers because I'm actually hungry, or do I just continue or drink more water and kind of realize that way that water is what I'm missing instead of adding a couple containers. So I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out. And it all varies like day to day too. And I've realized too, like on weekends when I may not be doing more of a harder workout, that I'm not as hungry. But where like this morning, like I said, I was lifting heavier weights, and I could tell that I was hungry and that I needed to add a container or two during the day just to kind of keep my energy up and keep going. So yeah, that's my low.
I hear you. What plan are you following? What plan number, whatever letter?
I trying to do the timed nutrition.
Are you an A, B, C?
An A. So
Are you playing A?
But then, and so sometimes I don't know if I should be up to a B. That's what I'm kind of debating, because sometimes it's too much, but then sometimes again, if it's not enough, or I think I drink a lot of water, in which I usually do. I mean, I still bring my gallon jug to work every day. So again, I don't know if it's my water or if I should be adding, and I guess it's just figuring out what I should be adding and during what times.
Yeah, that makes sense. Deanna made a good point here in the chat. She said she still implements the water first strategy from 2B Mindset of trying to drink water before you eat every time you eat, which is really good, just so you're not like ravenous and shoveling food, which is good.
Yep.
I will say, like, Deanna and I actually had this conversation pretty recently about plan A, what plan you're following, if you're hungry, if you have more strenuous exercise going, etc. And I think, like, for me, I can honestly say, like, some of this, like, learning the plans and understanding that you actually need fuel and need more to eat seems counterintuitive when you're working towards certain goals, right? When you're working towards weight loss, when you're
Yep.
working towards leaning out, when you're working towards, wanting body composition change. Like, our mindset, or at least mine for a long time, was, well, maybe I shouldn't be eating as much. But really, if you're eating the right foods and you're focusing on that nutrient dense combination, like it's laid out in Time Nutrition, like, you really should be aiming to fuel your body as much as you can. So, like, I personally, and I told Deanna this, I typically flip between plan B and plan C. Like, it kind of depends on the day. I don't have like one specific plan I personally use every single day all the time, because there are days where I'm like, wow, I am hungry. I am really hungry, and I need to know, like, what do I need to be eating? Where do I need to be adding? So I think the best thing to do, Joanna, is just look at the plan. Like, if you're in plan A and you're following 80-day obsession, like, I'll be honest, I don't think plan A is really enough food for that program for most people. Like, it's a hard program. It's strenuous.
Yep.
It's an hour. And then you're burning all day long because you're at work and whatever. And, like, you have obviously the afterburn effect from a workout like that. So you're just burning calories all day long. So don't be afraid to add in those containers more consistently and see how you feel. Because it's just never fun when you get to that point of being hungry, and you shouldn't be hungry on these plans. Like, everybody will tell you, like, you really shouldn't ever feel hungry on these plans. So I guess that would probably be my advice, but it's totally trial and error, right? Like, it's totally just continuing to figure it out. Yeah. Deanna said, go to B. I switched from A and feel a ton better this week. Yeah. Like, when you're doing ADDO or Lift 4, or really, I mean, a lot of the different programs, like, your body needs fuel. And the thing is, as you get more efficient with how you're eating and you're really implementing that nutrient dense nutrition all the time, your body becomes more and more efficient. So it wants the good stuff, like, and a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say just keep going with it. But I know, like, we all kind of have to figure that out. Like, I've had to figure it out too. So I don't know, Bridget, do you have any feedback on that one?
I was going to say, try it for at least like a week. Try to switch up to B and just see. Because I follow B, and sometimes some days I'm like, I want to eat C today because I'm extra hungry today.
Yep.
It almost depends on the workout too. If it's a more strenuous workout, then I feel like I need to eat more. I was going to ask you too, Erin, because I haven't gone through all the certification videos yet, but does Autumn talk about at all if someone was wanting to gain weight, i.e. even more muscle?
She doesn't talk about it at all. Like, really, she just kind of lays it out in the paths that we learn. Like, in the certification piece, she talks about when you're deciding what path you want to use or follow, you have to really assess what kind of exercise you're doing. And then from there, really implement the plan that makes the most sense. She doesn't talk specifically about gaining weight that I can remember right in this moment. I can go back and kind of jog my memory, but from what I can tell, like, it's more based on, making sure that you're fueling your body for energy and sustainability throughout the day based on how hard you're working in whatever other aspect of your life, exercise, work, etc. So there's a lot to kind of consider.
Yeah, because I've gone through the modules 1 through 3 for the certification. She didn't talk about it in there, because I even am at a point, I'm like, I would love to gain, 5 to 10 pounds of like muscle and toning up, but I was like, she didn't cover that at all. And so I would be like, if I decided to do 80-day obsession, I would probably bump up to plan C and eat that, since I'm normally in plan B for my maintenance.
Yeah, you know what I'll do is I'll look in our coach group too with her. And
that's a good idea.
Maybe somebody posted something in the Facebook group and asked about that, because there are people that have that as a goal, like they want to, increase their muscle mass, gain weight, etc. So I'll look in there too and see if we can find anything.
Perfect. But yeah,
Okay.
Jonah, I would try that. Try bumping up and see what happens and see how you feel.
Awesome.
Will do.
Awesome.
All right, cool. Brittany, I don't know if you can talk. I'll give you like a couple seconds to see if you can hop on.
I'll unmute her. I can't unmute her.
Okay.
She must have muted
She
herself.
might, yeah. I don't know if Dana, I know Dana has bedtime right now too. So Dana, I don't know if you can hop on and unmute yourself. I also know that you've been traveling and everything too. So I don't know if you've been able to dive into a ton yet.
I can unmute Dana. I can try. I always feel bad if they like have screaming children.
I know, but we all can relate, right?
Dana, you're unmuted if you want to
Shrieking,
talk.
screaming, whatever.
Am I unmuted?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Sorry, I don't have the video up because my son was running around trying to get jammies on and all of that fun stuff. Yes, as Erin said, I've been traveling a lot the last 2 weeks between vacation for myself and business all of last week. So, and I was out of town this whole week and we had a family trip. So it's been rough to get started, but no, I've used the containers in the past and just need to, for myself, kind of get back on track, I guess. And I need to personally find more time to be able to sit down and look through more of the materials.
Yeah, no worries. We, like we've been saying, like this group is just here to kind of support you as you get started. And once you kind of feeling like you get a little bit more information as far as diving into the videos and implementing the containers again, just kind of let us know where the holes are and what we can do to help.
Sure. Yeah. Like I said, I've used it before after my first son was born. I was not losing the weight doing what I typically do. So that's where I got the containers and all of that. And it did wonders. With not being home, I can't really grocery shop. So it's been a struggle. But now that I have plans to travel, it'll be a lot easier to kind of plan out my meals. And the challenge is planning for my husband now as well, since he works out of the house. He used to work at home. So I have to figure out enough food for him and me.
Yeah, Bridget is like a guru with that because she plans everything for her husband who works out of the house, like literally sun up to sundown every day. So she can be a great resource for you with trying to help manage kind of the at home versus on the go versus, husbands around, whatever. Like, make sure you're always just asking us questions if you need more support.
Yeah. The big stuff is figuring out the meals because I'm home in the evenings by myself with the 2 kids. So struggling with getting dinner done in a timely fashion and all of that stuff.
Got it. Sounds good. Well, thanks for sharing. Just let us know what we can do to help.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, and then Lisa. I don't know if Lisa's around, maybe.
I can't unmute her, Brittany.
Okay, no worries.
So.
Well, I don't that's kind of all I had, guys. I think, let's see. Brittany said, sorry, baby. My high is honestly just being aware what I have been putting into my body. My low has been not having the time to get my 5 meals in a day. Most days I only get 2 to 3 in. I have been out of town, so this week I'm back home, so I'll be able to have time to eat, which I think that's something that we can all kind of relate to. Like when you're not in the comfort of your own home and there's so much more out of your control, like it just can feel so off track. Like, and so I always remind people, like, and I have to remind myself of this: control the controllable, focus on getting your Shakeology in, focus on water intake, focus on vegetables. Like when you can implement those, try to do that as often as you can. And then once you're back home, like every day is a new day, just hop right back in. Like that's one thing that we all try to really make sure we're talking about here is there is no failure. It's learning, it's progress over perfection, and it's jumping back in every single day, no matter where you're at, and making the choice to learn something new that you can implement that becomes sustainable for you and your family. So that's pretty much it, guys. We just wanted to kind of go over highs and lows, relate a little bit, see how everybody's doing so far. Does anybody have any questions right now? I don't really have anything.
Can I do my high and low?
Oh, yes, Bridget. Oh my God. What I
want to say mine.
Wow. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, B.
No, that's okay. Okay. My high is I'm like using the containers actually for measuring and everything like that. Cause, at a point you sometimes feel like you're eyeballing it, and I love being able to continually using the containers. Getting all my veggies in, which is huge for me, which I'm a person that hates vegetables. Before even starting this plan, I barely ate vegetables at all. So just eating all my veggies and learning to try new cooked veggies is huge for me. And then my low is my water. I need to get better. And I think I'm going to start setting an alarm or something on my phone just to be like, okay, have you gotten this many ounces in already? To remind me. So if you are someone that struggles with that too, set an alarm in your phone. It seems kind of weird, but until you get it down, like you just need to do that. And then another low, and this might resonate with some of you guys too, is change of seasons is hard for me when it comes to meal prepping, because on Sunday is like our full family day, and I don't want to be 2 hours in the kitchen when everybody else is playing outside with their neighbors, and we live in a neighborhood that has everybody outside. And so then I'm like, okay, what can I do? Because I think previously when I worked full time, I would wake up early and do it maybe before the house woke up. Otherwise, we just didn't live in a neighborhood that had so many people outside all the time. And so I think what I'm going to do is kind of implement maybe a Wednesday meal prep day, because no one is usually outside during the week that much, and Tate works late already. So kind of playing around with you guys. Meal prep doesn't have to be in a weekend if it doesn't work for you in the season of life and your schedule. And so kind of play around and just see what works for you, if that maybe is a Friday afternoon, a Wednesday evening, whatever it may be. So that's what I'm going to do to see if that helps. Do the grocery shopping on Wednesday and then meal prepping for the week ahead till the next Tuesday, and then do it again. So that's my low, is just figuring that out. But yeah, does anybody have any other questions or anything? If not, if you're watching the recording, we're going to post this, you guys, in the group tomorrow. But if you have any questions, seriously, comment below, reach out to us. We are always here for you. And ask any questions you guys have too, just in the group in general, because we have, I don't know, 30 people in there, maybe 20 to 30, I can't remember now. But your question, it's not a dumb question, and someone else is probably thinking the exact same thing. So don't hesitate to just post it in there and share any victories that you guys have too, because we want to celebrate you while we go through this 30-day challenge, okay? All right. Anything else, Erin? You good?
No, I'm good. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys.
Yes. All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.